share what happened during COVID, because I was reading your website and I was like, ooh, your mom said something really, really cool. And like the advice that you said you'll never forget. And so I would love to hear that story about basically what community is, why it's so important, and why it perseveres.
Yeah. Yeah. So the story of COVID and, getting back to community is very prevalent in how kind of I got here and how we are here. So before COVID, we were doing in-person events and having in-person communities. And at the time, we were in 5 cities, but just in the state of Montana, because I had some friends that lived in different cities reach out to me after seeing what I was doing on Facebook and asked me if they could bring it to life where they lived. So I kind of figured that out, just kept it kind of a free Facebook group model, and was more just like a passion project at the time. Then COVID hits. Obviously, that derails our entire, I guess, business model, even though it really wasn't a business at the time. And we were forced to close almost every single group. The Bozeman group kept going, but in a very, very reduced, smaller scale. And we had to stop meeting in person. Everybody did worldwide. And what that did was a couple of things. I think at the time it forced us to get online. And so I did get online with our community and with Girl Get After It and created this online membership model platform space that I think served a purpose at the time. But to be honest, it didn't really have the same effect as meeting in person. And we leaned into it and it was great. And, people joined and they loved it because they needed that piece of community, whether it was in person or online. We were all isolated. But I think as soon as people started to feel that Zoom fatigue and things started to slowly open back up more and people were like craving for in-person connection, I decided that this online piece was not it for me.
Yeah.
It was not it for me. I didn't want to show up to work and, be online. And, I feel like I was putting on a face in a way to just host this event and this workshop and this meetup, even though I didn't really want to be there. I wanted to be in person. And it was felt from the people that were a part of our community. And so we hit a point where we were really focused on online. Yes, this online community piece, but we were also focused on our online merch too. And that was actually what was driving the business forward. And I'm really grateful for that. Everybody was online buying t-shirts, hoodies, hats. It's actually what allowed me to take the leap into Girl Get After It full time, which is crazy to say that happened during 2020.
Mm-hmm.
So I say that because we were running all these online things. But then as soon as the society and the market started to shift back into in-person, the business model really took a hit. And I was like, oh no, what did I just do? Like I just, stopped my marketing business to then go into this passion project full time. And it wasn't really working. We weren't making an income. Nobody was buying t-shirts anymore. Oh my God, what's happening? And I was driving in my car headed to town, and I was chatting with my mom on the phone and kind of chatting with her about just my struggles that I was having and that just things weren't working. And she was like, why don't you start a membership model, in-person membership model? And it was at the time where we started to slowly get the Bozeman group back running in person and meeting pretty regularly, a little bit bigger groups. And I just kind of stopped and thought about it. And I was like, oh, Mom, that's actually a really good idea. Wow. And I think I've always been the type of person where charging money to people for things doesn't come naturally for me. I just want to give and do these cool things and create a vibe
Mm-hmm.
versus making a business out of it. It's not really my strong suit. And I think that comes from this people pleasing mentality that I mentioned earlier.
Yeah. I think a lot of people can relate to that.
Yeah. And I think for a really long time, the events and community piece to our brand were free. Like they were just on Facebook groups. And I'm so glad we did that. I feel like it taught me so much. There was no pressure behind it. But then when I was talking with my mom and she had brought up this piece of like, why not? Like what you bring to the table is valuable and people will see that and it'll give you purpose again and get you back to what you really love doing, which is creating this in-person community. And so from that moment on is when I just like kind of flipped a switch and I was like, you know what? Why not try this out? Like there's membership models for all different types of things. Like, why not this? And so I put it out there on social at the time. It was just like, hey, like the world is opening up again. Like we're back to meeting in person. We need community now more than ever. And we're doing this. And if you live in a city and you want to bring Girl Get After to life where you live, like here's an application. Fill it out. Let's do it. And we got so many applications on that first call out. I think we got like almost 75 applications, which was a lot. Like that's in 75 different cities. And I pinpointed it down to 5 and onboarded this group of women that lived in different cities, mainly around the Mountain West, I would say, like close to Montana. And we started to grow this in-person community piece. We started with 5, and that was like 2021 timeframe, late 2021. And then we've just kind of slowly grown year after year, and now we're in 20. And I think, to answer your question of the importance of community and why everybody needs it, I think your entire life can change by simply feeling supported. And I think that can be from 1 people, it can be from 5 people, it can be from 500 people. Like, I feel like if you want to do something that's hard or intimidating or scary or take the leap into owning your own business or whatever it may be, if you don't feel supported, I feel like that alone makes it so much harder to do. But if you feel like you have the support system in place, which is literally what community means, I feel like you can do anything. And I think that's something that I realized during COVID and, stopping this in-person piece was like, even myself, I felt like not as confident doing things and making decisions and having conversations and like, for things because my support system, it was there. It just looks so different. And I feel like a lot of people felt like that. And so once COVID was sort of in the rearview mirror and people were ready to meet in person again, I kind of just went all in and said, like you said earlier, why not? Why not me? Why not me create this thing and just go for it? And I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Personally, I think when you feel like you're part of a community, it transcends just the in-person events too. I mean, these are people, maybe you only see people like in your case, maybe these people really only get together once or once every other month. I mean, like as an individual person who attends, like they might only go however many times, but they still know that they're a part of that community. And that support, like you said, that's really, and also, I mean, I'll finish that sentence because I do this all the time. I was going to say that's really encouraging because first of all, it'll just get you there, but it's also the accountability, knowing that you're not in it alone. There's other people there. I think it was a massive thing with my trips too. Like I get it because these people, they know they're not going by themselves. Maybe they're showing up to the group alone, but they know that they're going to have friends there, like find friends. And as an adult, especially, that's
especially
important.
Like something that I've noticed that's huge with these events that we host is knowing that you're showing up to something and 99% of the other people are kind of on that same playing field.
Yeah.
Of like something as simple as going to a cycling class. It's the first time you may be going, maybe it's the first time you've ever cycled, a new studio just opened, and you're showing up with a group of women that are in the exact same boat. Like there's no pressure to perform or know what you're doing, or like there's no, all eyes are going to be on me because I'm the newbie. And so I feel like that level playing field has like, it's such an important barrier to remove.